morning. Well, we just had a little rain shower blow through here. I wasn't expecting any this morning, but a little line of showers developed. I think we had like 2/10 in the last 20 minutes or so. That's all right. We'll take it. Took the day off yesterday because it's brutally hot, and we went to the lake. That was a good time. So that was fun with the boys. It's going to be hot again today, but we've got a couple different projects we're working on. I am going to get a haircut today because it's badly in need. And we're going to get some RV antifreeze so we can winterize the fertilizer system on the planter. And we're probably going to drag that out this afternoon and keep power washing on it. I'm going to find some other stuff to work on here this morning. I got that sheet of grain bin sheet over there. I think I'm going to cut out some squares of that for mounting my proximity sensors in. We'll get working on something. All right, I got a strip cut off. So the idea here is to cut this into like 3 separate pieces, and then I can have a little square. And hold on, let me show you. So where we've got the outside of our bin wall like this, we can cut this and have a little square. Drill a hole in the valley. That'd be this valley. Put our sensor through there, this deal, and just put it right into there, bolt it on, and then we can drill a big hole in the valley here, and then take our little square with the sensor, stick the sensor through it, and bolt this to the outside with a bunch of caulk on it and stuff to keep it cleaned up or keep it dry. Yeah, so I don't know, that's the idea. We'll see if it works. This is much safer with 2 hands. Well, I've decided to take a little bit of time to update some stuff for my seed business. Trying to get... I had some guys buy some in-season stuff that we need to get some bills out for, and make sure that everything's right on our ordering system, and that everybody that got what they got is what my computer says they got, so that, yeah, causes less problems down the road if I keep this somewhat up to date. So we're trying. All right, time for me to go get my hair cut. We'll be back this afternoon. We'll do a little more scouting here and drive around with the gator, take a look at some crops, see how stuff's growing. It's growing so fast right now. Things are in really good shape, but yeah, we'll see you in a little while. I'm on my way back to the farm. Oh yeah, I got a haircut. Check it out. You can see my forehead and how shiny it is now. But anyway, like I was saying, Monday we sprayed this field of soybeans because we had all those mare's tail in it, remember? And I thought, I'm driving by, let's stop and take a look and see what's happening to them. Check it out. They're dying. They're dying rapidly. They aren't toasty yet, but that's 4 days. It's dead. It's gonna die. Now, mare's tail will surprise you. Sometimes they'll look like this and they'll grow right out of it and just be just fine. But I think we got these ones. So this looks really good. You can see the Liberty did ding our beans a little bit. Got some more burning on the leaves, but we had to kill these weeds. So it's just part of the deal on this one. But yeah. This is good. The worst spot is right over there. Those are all dying. Across the road we used Enlist and not Liberty. I was going to jump over there and see what those look like. I know that those leaves look bad, and burning your beans with herbicide is generally not a good thing. However, we're very early in the season, and stressing your soybeans early in the season actually does make them yield a little bit better. If you can stress it, and especially if you could kill off the terminal bud and force it to put seminal buds out, or multiple stems coming out of different nodes, then you get 2 main stems instead of 1, and you get more beans doing it that way. So I'm not real worried about the leaf burn on them. Those beans are going to be just fine. All right, we've got to find a mare's tail out here so I can show you what they're doing. There's not as many on this side of the road. That's good, but it makes it harder for me to do this. Well, I can't find any. I walked from all the way over by across where my truck is, all the way. I can't find any. There's some of this though. I don't know if this is that mustard or what it was, but clearly it is dying, and it does not have the browning around the edges like the mare's tail do, because the Liberty doesn't work that way, or doesn't work the same as the Enlist. The Enlist doesn't work like the Liberty. That's what I meant to say. The Enlist is a 2,4-D product. It's gonna make these things get all twisted up and curled up, and it kills it, but it kills it different than the Liberty, where it just burns it. And so that's kind of what we expect. That's what I expect to see with any mare's tail that's out here, is that they're probably greener. They don't have the brown edges on the leaves, but they're getting all twisted and curled up, and it's just works in a different way. But these beans are clean. We also didn't burn the leaves here near as much. The Enlist doesn't hurt the beans like the Liberty can. So for the most part, it looks pretty good. A little thin here and there, really good in other spots. All is good, all is good. All right, let's go back to the farm. Here's some thistles where you can see that twisting. The light color is the bottom side of the leaves where they're rolling over and twisting up. They're dying, that's what they're doing. Well, Dad brought me a generator back. We had this down to Berkey. This is a 190 kW generator. It's got a 8.1, I believe, 8.1 liter Deere motor in it. And we used to run this on our grain system up here until we bought a bigger one, stationary. So then this one, we took it down to Berkey as a backup, and we've been using it for a year and a half because our other generator down there quit working. But we're going to need it because this is what we use to irrigate. We run an electric motor for our irrigation stuff. Probably got to do some service work, 5,779 hours. And the filter was changed. Well, that's 5604. That's not so bad. And I don't see a date on there, so we'll have to do some looking in the books. But, yeah, it sits up in our irrigation field and runs all dang summer. So we usually have to service it before we go up there. Anyway, we'll get to that. We're getting ready to irrigate, but we're not there yet. It keeps raining. Also, we brought a paint sprayer back. We've got some elastomeric coating, roof coating stuff. Dad wants to do the roof of the barn. He's got a little project he's working on out here. He's at war with the birds, more or less. And so he's replacing the soffit on this north side, trying to seal it up so the birds can't get in and out there. I don't know. We got this lift here, so he's using it while it's here, kind of thing. And we thought we'd spray the barn roof at the same time. So anyway, that's what he's working on. Let's go do a little scouting before we get the planter out to power wash. We'll wait till it's absolutely as hot as it's going to get today before we get to that. I wanted to start with the weed out here. I fully expect, with as hot as it is right now, for our wheat to kind of shut down and start maturing. We're almost to that point anyway, and it's, yeah, I mean, the bottom of these plants are lightening up. I don't know if I would consider it to be turning just yet, but we're getting there. It won't be long before the wheat fields start to turn yellow, and we're probably 3 to 4 weeks away from harvest right now, I would guess. So the heads have filled out substantially, nice and thick. That is good. We will see how this wheat does. This is probably our best field. It was the first planted stuff and doesn't have a lot of the thin spots that the late planted wheat does, so that is good. There's some kernels in there. They're still very big, very green, very soft. A little ways to go yet, but this rain is helping, the heat is not, kind of thing. But it's okay. Was kind of looking at the heads, trying to see if you see any brown, any discolored stuff, where half the head is pale brown and the half of it is still green. That would indicate a head scab problem. We look at the flag leaf, the upper leaf here, and they're still pretty healthy and green. There's a little spotting on them, but not anything too terrible. So really, I think some of our wheat is going to be really good. It's the thin spots, like that little one over there on the end rows, that's going to be the problem and drag our wheat yields way down on some fields. But this one here, like I said, isn't too bad. So I'm pretty happy with this. Yeah, I don't know if you can see this head or not, but I think this one's got a little head scab in it. The tip here is brown. The bottom is still pretty green. This other side, I think that one got a little disease in it. But that's a head I found down low in the canopy. Probably a late spring tiller or something that just didn't have enough time and wasn't strong. I don't know. There's not a lot of it. That's the only one I saw, so I'm not too worried about it. Well, let's go take a look at a cornfield. I'm trying to remember what date this one was planted. I don't remember if it was in April or if it was in the middle part of May there, but it's growing. It looks pretty good. We've got plenty of moisture, obviously, because we've had a bunch of rain the last few days. So that's good. This is one of the fields that I put that Xyway on. That's the fungicide in with the starter fertilizer. So I did not spray this one at V5. We've got some thin spots here. There's a draw right here where the water washed. You can just clearly see the water ran across the ground here and took a few plants out. If we get out of that area, I don't think we'll see it too bad. It's definitely growing. We've got a nice, beautiful dark green color. Looks really good. And for the most part, I'm pretty happy with it. There's some skips here and there, a few missing plants. Stand isn't the best. This almost had to be planted in late April, because that's what the planting date where I've seen that kind of stuff. Should have brought my tape measure. We could have done some stand counts. Oh well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. V7, almost V8 corn. It looks really good. I'm pretty happy with this. Like I said, the stand's not perfect, but for the most part, this corn looks good. April 28th, this was planted. It's exactly what I thought when I saw the sort of the reduced stand in a few spots. The stuff we planted the 28th, 29th of April was right before we got that first sort of big rain, and it struggled to come up a little bit. We were dealing with some soil crusting until we got a rain when this stuff was trying to poke out of the ground, and it cost us a little bit there. I'd still rather have it planted then than the 20th of May, so I still think we're in good shape. This is also a let's go across the road. 107-day new number for us, one that we haven't planted very much of in the past, so be a good one to keep an eye on. Soybean field here. These are 3.4 soybeans, group 3.4 full season beans that we have, and they're growing. They look really good. Let me pull a plant. I know, right? Okay, so I just broke the cotyledons off. They were right there. So then we've got our unifoliate leaf. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 fully expanded trifoliates, but we're also, see this right here, this little one and this little one? That is what we like to see. Those are branches starting, which is good. We want those branches. Those are going to put lots of beans on. And here's our next trifoliate to come out. They're almost out, not quite. When this next trifoliate leaves stop touching at the edges, that's when you count it. So that'd be a V5 soybean once that happens. We're a V4 right now. They look good. They're just soybeans this time of year. You just think they're sitting there not doing anything, but they really are growing and progressing and getting bigger and better. They don't grow this fast as corn, so it looks like they're not doing anything. You can see our tire tracks here. This is a sprayer pass, planter pass, a lot of compaction on these end rows. It's just the way it is. They'll fill out, they'll be fine. But heavy planters and sprayers and equipment causes that. That's why we need another tractor for our bean planter. This here is some of our last planted corn. Was planted May 18th. A little more uneven. Get some yellow spots like this, but nice full stand. We don't have the gaps like we did in that last field we were just in, which is just down there a little ways. So, but I expect this corn to be behind. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So not a lot. Only a growth stage and a half, I would say. This is just V6. That other stuff is almost V8. So yeah, I mean, it looks good. It's just this was planted the 18th of May. So what are you, three weeks? planting date difference. Yeah. We're going to go into one of the fields that was planted the second day we were planting. It would have been the 23rd, 24th of April next. So we'll see what the absolute biggest corn that we've got, or farthest along, looks like. Yeah, buddy. So this is that field. This was planted that second day that we were planting corn. April, I can't remember, we started on the 22nd or we started on the 23rd. Either way, it was the day after we started. And it looks real good. I mean, this stuff is waist high on me almost. And wow. Yeah, this will be head high a week from now. We're gonna be tasseling the 4th of July. Maybe, I don't know, this might be full season corn. What do I got in here? 108 day maybe? Oh, let's see. Can we even find the bottom leaf anymore? Yep, it's dying off right here. One. Oh, we got a tiller. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Interesting. Also what I would consider to be V7 corn. So the difference in planting date isn't necessarily growth stage. It's more so in how that plant grows. You know, this is obviously taller, bigger, better corn, even at a very similar growth stage to some of the stuff that we just looked at that was planted later. But it's just better. This is going to be better corn. It's just the way it is. So you can see, so when I walk out in these fields, obviously I'm showing you where we're at, or growth stage in it and stuff, but I am looking for problems and issues. I haven't found a lot. That's why I haven't shown you any. Here we've got some sort of damage, physical damage. Animal stepped on it, bit the top off of it, a deer, whatever it was when it was younger. Here maybe we had some bug bore through it when this was still in the whorl, caused some damage. It's minor isolated incident, no big deal there. I do see a little bit of streaking in the leaves. Can you guys see this? This interveinal chlorosis, it's called, where you get yellowing in between the veins on the leaves. That is typically shown up as a sulfur deficiency. It could be a zinc deficiency. We put both zinc and sulfur on this field with our starter and our planter, and that's why we do it, to try and prevent that. It's possible we're still short because this corn is growing so well. It needs a ton of nutrients in order to produce the best factory that it can. But it also is likely the fact that this corn is just growing so fast the root system cannot get the nutrients into the plant fast enough. They're there, they're in the soil, it can get to them, it just can't bring them in fast enough to keep up with the demands from the plant. So I expect that striping to go away. The bigger the plant gets and the more it develops a root system and an ability to bring nutrients into the plant. I don't like to see it, but I'm not terribly concerned about it. There's not a lot I can do about it at this point anyway. So right now, our corn goes through different stages. Obviously we talked about growth stages, but it's doing different things at different times throughout its life cycle, right? So obviously right after we plant, priority number one is to get it up out of the ground, established, start growing that root system, start getting some leaves out so that we can start feeding it and doing photosynthesis and finding that water and nutrients in the soil. And then we get to that V5 stage where it's maybe 6 to 10 inches tall, and it's actually setting the number of rows that are going to be around on each ear. So that's already determined in this corn. We know whether we're going to have 16 around, 18 around, 20 around rows of kernels on each ear. If we were really good with a scalpel and a microscope, we could tear those plants apart and actually find the ears inside the whorl, all rolled up in there. They're just little itty bitty, and it would be very hard to do right now. But what that plant is doing right now is just building a factory, right? So the critical time is when we get to pollination. So R1 was when the tassels start to appear, and then it will pollinate, and that's kind of the critical time for the development of that ear and establishing how many kernels we're going to get. And so what we need to do between now and then is just build the best plant that we can build. Build a factory that can capture sunlight, a really good root system that can go find the nutrients in our soil and can bring all the water and everything in that plant needs so that it has the necessary tools to build the biggest ear possible. Well, we're up in the irrigated field. I wanted to come and take a look at it again. We spend a lot of time in this field, like I've said. So in the words of one of my Golden Harvest people that I work with who came and looked at this field a couple of days ago when I wasn't here and sent me a text, said, "It doesn't suck. Yeah, all right. Yeah, it's not bad. I do find this interesting though. I don't know how well this shows up in the camera, but the leaves on this are actually rolling just a little bit. Can you guys see how, like, I'm trying to find a way to show you a good example. Like this one here. This is the underside of the leaf. It's just kind of rolling itself up a little bit. It's a defense mechanism. This corn is actually protecting itself from the blaring, hot, intense sunshine. It's not moisture stressed. We've got plenty of moisture. All you have to do is kick the dirt a little bit. There's plenty of moisture there. In fact, the ground is wet on top in the rows here. It's heat stress. It's hot. This corn is loving it for the most part, but it's also knows, hey, we need to protect ourselves a little bit here. So it's just rolling them leaves over, just protecting the top side, letting the bottom show a little bit more, and it helps it conserve moisture. And yep, perfectly natural. You see it a lot in drought stress where it'll roll them up tight to conserve moisture and look like a field of pineapples out here. But we're not that bad, but it is doing a little bit, and I can see it, and that's interesting. This corn is planted super thick. This is our 110 day 10D21 that was planted at like 42,000. So there's a lot of plants out here, and we gotta keep them all happy. That's why we're getting the irrigation stuff ready, because if it's this hot next week and it doesn't rain, we're pumping water. We're pumping lots of water. It is just all the way across this field. It's just gorgeous. It doesn't get much better than that right there. Not for us, not for this time of year. Fantastic. We're the 112 day up here. It's just beautiful corn. I suppose I have procrastinated long enough, and we should go do some power washing or something productive. All right, well, we're back at the farm. I lied. We're not going to get the corn planter out just yet because, well, Dad's power washing up there. Look at that, cleaning the roof off. Looks good. It's doing a good job. But we're probably don't have the water capacity to run 2 power washers at the same time. So I'm gonna let him work on that for a while. We will still probably get it out here in a little bit, but I'll go back to my bin sheet project here. So we need to drill some holes in these big enough for this sensor to fit through. Well, something like that. It's not, obviously it doesn't sit flat because it's not flat, and I know they make a little semicircle flat washer type thing to sit in there, but I don't have any. I don't know if I could find any or not. I mean, that's not going to go anywhere. We can just caulk the crap out of it so it doesn't leak, and it would be fine. But then my idea is on the bin wall sheet to drill a hole that this whole thing can go through, that's bigger diameter than that, you know, in here, and then we can take this and just shove it through so it sticks inside the bin. Something like that. Should work. You guys ever have one of those days where you just can't get anything done? You know, I have big plans. I'm gonna power wash a corn planter. We're gonna do all this stuff, and then now it's 5 o'clock and I can't get anything done. I just spent 2 hours on the phone with tech support to get into our record keeping program because their stuff screwed up, and now I had to waste an entire afternoon, more or less. So that was fun. I did manage to get RV antifreeze this morning when I was out and about though. So when we do get to cleaning the corn planter, we've got some to winterize the fertilizer system on there. And Brock cleaned up the tank that I pulled behind the planter back when I was busy having a baby. But I don't think he winterized the pump or got any fertilizer out of the hoses and plumbing and stuff. So I got enough to do that as well. Yeah. Dad's making some progress on the barn roof up there. Got a third of it done, not quite half. It looks really good, but I imagine he's pretty tired and probably wishes I was doing that. And I probably should be doing that. Oh, I can't get everything done. All right, I got a few pallets to pick up from some seed customers yet. A couple of them are fairly close. I was gonna go try and do tonight, but nobody answered their phone. So if they call me back shortly, I may still go and do that. Otherwise, I guess I'm gonna go in the house because, well, it's too late to start anything, and I don't have anything else to do right now. So tomorrow we're gonna try again to wash that corn planter, but it's looking unlikely. I know I have somebody coming tomorrow morning to pick up some of the beans that I have in here for replant purposes farther south. And so I got to get them loaded up when they get here. And then what else do I have going on? Oh yeah, Wade's coming up, agronomist Wade. Dad was down to Berkey today getting that generator, and he looked at one of our cornfields down there, and we had a fair bit of green snap in it, he said. Sent me a picture and stuff, and so I sent that to Wade, and he's like, I'll come look at it tomorrow. All right, cool. So he's gonna come look at that, probably be late morning. We'll probably go look at a couple other fields around there, and who knows what time we'll get back here to Waldron, but hopefully we can wash the corn planter tomorrow. Yeah, it needs to get done. So let's just do it and be done with it, and then we can get it put away and unhooked and move on to other things. So that's the plan for tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Thanks for watching today. Hit that like and subscribe button. Questions, comments, leave them down below. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Go check out Farm Focus. Get yourself a Border View Farms t-shirt.